All right, now that I got my top chopped about wrapped up, all I got to do is a little bit of body work on it, and I got the inside of it sealed up. That's a pretty good look. I love how fat that's looking. I've been working with Chris Collins on my wheels, and I'm having a little bit of issues of coming up with a way to make the 18-inch wide wheel work out. So I may have to do something different, but Chris is still working on it to see what he can do. He's trying to take I think it's a 12 and a 14-inch wheel and cut the lip off of each one and weld them back together, but there's some issues on back spacing and stuff. So worst case scenario, I'll get with weld wheels, but I hope that Chris can make that work out for us. Now inside this truck, when Chris got this truck, it came with these gauges. These gauges were in an IROC Z. They're Phantom, really nice Phantom gauges, and I'm gonna see if I can't make them work inside here. So let's see if we can't make these gauges work. Inside here now, I've taken those gauges, took the fuel gauge out of here, and I've drilled and put it over here, and I think I'm going to make it lean with one of these angle spacers and lean in towards Chris, so that it's kind of like a cockpit in an airplane, and then I can put all three of these in these holes that were already drilled out. Now we're not going to have a radio on this thing, so that gives me some real estate to put these in there and kind of lean them this away. Now those holes already being drilled makes it a little ornery for your hose saw. So what I do in that case, if you can get something back in behind it, like a piece of sheet metal, like in this case I've just got a piece of wood I've got clamped in there, you can use that wood as a guide. So I'll get my center spot and then hit that wood and then drill into that metal. Now if this metal gets to be ornery and it starts watering out my hole in that wood, then I'll have to use a piece of metal. But usually the wood will hold it if you use a thick enough piece. And that's a lot easier than trying to clamp and drill a piece of metal in behind there. And then that'll hold that center guide, and I'll be able to punch those out, put those in place. Now my 5-inch, these are 5-inch gauges, and it's a really nice set of gauges here. So I'm going to just try to make these work and look good. Now when I put these in here, they're going to go on a flat panel. So I'm going to try to come up with a way to make that not look so flat. I'm really not sure what I'm going to do right there. And these 5-inch gauges, 2 of them is going to take up every bit of that spot. So let me get these holes drilled, get these mounted, get these out of here, get those mocked up, and see if we can't blend these into this dash somehow. Okay, now that I've got my wood in place, I want to show you how this works. Now the hole I just drilled out, I took the little piece of that, plugged out of that, and then I can use it to put right in the center of this, because I know that's where I want that, and that'll help me center that. And then I'll put it right in the center of where I got that one marked. Mark that one in the center of that one. Mark that one. All right, let me show you how this works. Get right in, put it right in the center of my wood spot right there. Now this hole saw is just a little bit smaller than the gauges. I've got to grind that out, and I've got a little bit high right there, so when I go to open this up just a little bit with my cutoff tool, I'm going to take that one down just a little bit, and then it'll be exactly right in the right spot that I needed. So I'm going to do these other 3 like that, and we can get these gauges put in. Alright, I'm wrapping these gauges up. Being we already had these gauges and they look real nice, I decided to go ahead and use them. Try not to spend a lot of time on them. I already had these angled bezel. I'll have to order one more bezel for this one here. Maybe a metal template for in the back of that. When I got the template up there, it just looked very plain. So I cut this ABS plastic and then glued it to that metal so that it brings all that out a little bit and fills that void a little better. And that looks nice right there. So now I'm going to jump on the seat and I'm going to try to get this seat knocked out. So let me show you the seat. I'm going to say I've got the 91 Chevrolet seat here, and they're very, very comfortable seat. They pretty hot item. They're hard to find in the salvage yard because they're such a comfortable, good seat. Has a flip down armrest, which is going to be really nice and comfortable. But I went ahead and just took the frame out from under it to save me a little time, and I've got me blocks of wood under here. And I'm going to start off with keeping the back of this at the height of the back window, and once I get that set to my back window, then I'm going to start turning this thing up a little bit. This thing's going to get a lot more comfortable the more I turn it. but there's going to get a point where it's going to be uncomfortable to your pedal when you push down. You don't want the back of your leg pushing on this. You don't want to get that too high to make that uncomfortable. So I'm going to use this wood. I'm going to set in here and shut the door and get comfy and see where I like it. And then once I get that set, I'm going to make those marks, go to my seat frame, chop that off, set the seat, seat's done. Then we're going to move on to something else. Okay, I got my metal frame cut for my seat, and I got it setting pretty good. I feel really good in here. Got my seat below my window. Where I'm sitting feels good, comfortable, legs up good. My shifter feels good. So I'm pretty much done on this part until I get my steer clear from Steering Wizard, so I can know where my steering's going to go, and then still waiting on my headers from Hooker Header, and get my motor where it's going to go, and my pedals. So I got to have those three things to finish up this area. But boy, it feels good, sets good. I can see out all the way around real good. Very, very comfortable. So what I'm going to do is, since I'm waiting on these parts, I'm going to move to the front and work on the front end. The front end, this has got a tilt fiberglass front end, and it looks a little long, so I think I'm fixing to do some whittling. So let's go out here and take a look at that. Now, it's hard to tell how proportionate it is without the bed on it, and I hope to be working on getting the bed ordered soon. But this tilt front end was forward about 1.25 inches forward and up, and that was how it fit factory. What I'm going to do is I'm going to sink it back as far as I can go, and as far as I can go is to a brace right in there. So I'm going to cut all that off and move all this back about 1 inch, maybe 1.25 inches, somewhere in that area. Then once I get that set down and locked in, I'm going to have to move those little fender extensions down there, which ain't a big deal, and get that tight all the way around that cowl. Then I'm going to bring this nose down and rake that nose down a little bit, so I get a little more lean out of this and get a little lower to the ground, and that ought to be a really good look. So I'm going to yank this off here. I'm going to cut that cowl all the way, the hood all the way across there, and then we'll see how this thing looks.